A landmark case against some of the world's largest social media companies just began this week. Jury selection is underway in a case accusing Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat of knowingly designing addictive products that damage kids' mental health. More than 1,600 plaintiffs, including families and school districts, are suing. TikTok and Snapchat have already settled one case, while Meta and Google are expected to head to trial, with top executives possibly testifying. A verdict could force major changes to how these platforms operate. And joining me today is Joe Barnes, author of the book Social Media Safety: What Parents and Teens Need to Know, and Professor Emeritus at the Albers School of Business at Seattle University. Joe, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
So, Joe, first of all, you must be watching this trial very closely. Why does this case matter, and why does it matter right now?
You know, I think it's so important because the child you love, whether you're a parent or a guardian, if they're on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, they're seeing dangerous challenges, even if they're not searching for them. And the more dangerous the stunt, the more views it gets. And what the child doesn't see are the ER visits, the lifelong injuries, or the funerals that follow. And some of these kids are as young, I've watched them, as young as 6, 8, 9. And social media platforms are designed with the algorithms to keep those kids watching. That's the most dangerous part.
And how have you seen it affect kids' anxiety, self-esteem, and attention span?
There's so much research on this. I've watched kids as young as 4, 5, and 6. You know, they'll pick up their phone as early as 6 a.m. They'll use it all day. They'll hide under the sheets or the blankets until midnight or 2 a.m. And it affects their anxiety. It affects their self-esteem. It affects their ability to socialize with other kids. There's research that talks about how it's affected their academics in school and their health, their mental health. So there's plenty of research that's really talking about not only what they see, but why their addiction to the phone and social media and how it's affecting their lives. You know, I think when I talk to parents, you know, the first thing they say is, well, I'm going to take away their phone. That's the wrong conversation to have. The best conversation is, what are you watching? How can I help you have a more useful life with your phone? One of the best pieces of advice I heard one parent say is, why don't we put your phone in the kitchen? Let's charge it there at night. And let's talk about how you're using your phone and what you're watching.
Interesting. And do you feel that there's certain features like the algorithms, the endless scrolling, or maybe even the notifications that are posing the biggest risk, or is it in totality or all of those things combined that is the problem?
You know, I think it's, as I talk to parents and as I talk to kids, I think it's all those things combined. You know, I think it's great for kids to have chat groups with friends from school and that sort of thing. But I think, you know, it also comes down to not just social media, but how much time are you spending on your phone, away from friends, away from socialization. And I'll tell you one other factor that I found when I wrote the book. I talked with a number of young girls at coffee shops, and I said, we'll do this privately. There were so many predators approaching young girls as young as middle school, afraid to tell their parents that they had been approached by predators across the United States and other countries. And I think parents need to be able to open up and have a nice, safe, non-threatening conversation with their kids, especially young girls, where the girls feel safe to say, Mom, Dad, I've been approached, and where the parents don't get angry, but they say, okay, let's talk about what safeguards we can have on your phone.
And Joe, real quick, we're running out of time, but what are some red flags that parents should watch out for when that behavior becomes addictive?
I think they want to watch for the wording. They want to watch for, is this a friend that you absolutely know is safe from your school or somebody who's pretending to be a friend from your school that you think is a friend, but you don't know for sure. A lot of these predators pretend to be a friend from your school. They'll watch your social media posts and then try to pose as a friend from your school.
Joe Barnes, thanks so much for your time this afternoon, local author and Seattle University professor. We appreciate it.
Thank you.